I'm sorry that the first part of my video cut out. I just needed a test because I've been having problems. So this is part two, and where I left off was that our vessels, regardless whether they die or they end, our conscience has always been here before our vessels, and conscience will always be here. All of our shared experiences, everything like that. Um, That's why when we're alive and we have our vessels, everything that we do that has passion or emotion or some kind of strong connection is an imprint that you're able to, when you die, you're able to visit and have and relive. Um, and that's why you see a lot of echoes nowadays when people die or they pass away, and you think about them and you see that person. It's because you're seeing an echo, and that person can inhabit that and see you and feel you. But vibration, this world is built on vibration. Everything from our words, our sight, our feelings, everything that is vibration. And once you understand that, it's easy to see that you can heal aging with vibration as long as you um, keep the biome intact, our electromagnetic field that comes from our heart. You would have a machine that would project its own electromagnetic field, creating a stable, safe environment inside. And then you would have an enclosed machine that would have frequency tubes, and you would have AI that would have medical knowledge, and you would be able to interact vibrationally with cells in the body, and you could roll them back, you could push them forward, you could heal them, you could talk to them. No more brain maladies, no more missing limbs. Matter is the only thing that gives substance to matter is light. So you have to realize that everything is already there. You just have to vibrate interactively to be able to interact with it. And just because there's negative vibrations out there, technologies that try and diminish our vibration, doesn't mean that you can become so powerful that it doesn't affect you. If you have M's on your hands, X's, crescent moons, you have pyramids, you have power, you have knowledge, you have the ability to interact with reality and shape it just by your interaction with reality. So if somebody is negative and you just and you accept that and you realize that hey, everybody has a right to be, you know what I'm saying? That's fine. They can act like that. I don't have to interact negatively. There's also a positive reaction. And there's also the middle road to where you don't say anything and you just let that person be and have their moment. That shapes and ripples in reality positively. Um, like this, I needed reality to be fast because I have a son outside of my fur children that I express what bonds are and how you can shape them and how they make you powerful. But my son has the same workings as I do. X's, crescent moons, the pyramids, one set with a circle, one without. And even Gemini says that's super, super rare, like super out there. Um, he's so beautiful. He has photogenic memory. He's just amazing. And he's going to be something special. You just have to realize that everything in life can be shaped to the way you want it to be as long as you vibrate on that level. Um, like when I was younger, I had visions and the world stopped and it felt like vibration, like I was vibrating. So that I know that time, space, reality is all in vibration. So when we sleep, the reason why we have deja vu is because our past, present, and future, whenever we sleep, we always vibrate on the same frequency. So that's why we can interact with each other. So when we awake and we have that deja vu moment, we're like, dude, I dreamt about that. That's the reason why. So if you think about that, if you become vibrationally in tune with your past, present, and future in the daytime, you're a bad mamma jamma. And once you're able to control your reality, your expression on time, the way you view it and the way you interact with it is completely different. You age different, you see different, you feel different. And it just you gotta understand it and see it, and There's really no way to do that, and that's what I want to do. I want to be able to give you that knowledge and that ability to know that there is something better out there. All elements vibrate on a vibrational level. um, and when the material world was created through the sacrifice of higher conscience, it sent a ripple of vibration sound throughout creation. And so that is why the main principle of creation is sound. The laws for creation are the laws for life, and the laws for life are the laws of creation. That's why within, without, everything that is the same. Everything is one. Everything has an eccentric energy field that they can interact with in the realities depending on their vibrational scale. Everything has thought, feeling, emotion, connection. Every tree, every sound, every light, every feeling, every thought is sound. And just imagine what it could be if we all thought and understood on that level. You have to think about it. The things you wear on your head, the makeup you wear, is all made by vibrational people that aren't vibrationally in tune. And you put that stuff on your body and you incorporate their vibrations. You can heal that by um, doing vibrational healing, like your chakras, where you sit down and you meditate and you realign your power nodes, and then you become spirit, and your physical can interact, and it feels like you're floating. You can do that with your clothes. You can vibrationally tune them, but if you don't, then you're in for a vibrational mess. The necklaces, your jewelry, your earrings, you don't need to make makeup, wear makeup. What are you making up for? You're beautiful. You've always been beautiful before you had your vessel. Your vessel is just your way to interact with this material and to understand that spirit and conscience can come together and be one. When you realize that your negative and positive can come together, you have power. Um, I have five fur children. I have my blue healer right here. No shock collar needed. Um, she's amazing. She's conscious. Her vessel is her interaction with the world. We're equal in every single way. I treat her that way. And she's highly intelligent. The way you interact with life, the way you interact with reality, the way you perceive it is the way it's going to be. I think it's called a double slit experiment, to where wave particles behaved one sort of way, and then when there was an observer, they behaved a different way. It's because the way you observe and interact with reality is the way you shape it. And if your vibration is low and negative, you're going to shape and interact with reality in a negative way. But if you vibrate at the highest levels and you realize that everything's a vibration, and you roll out of bed with a smile, and it can be lonely. It can, because when you vibrate so high, you just look at everybody and everything and see the way they are, the way they act. It's lonely. You just, especially when you're as powerful as an empath as I am, and you just hear everybody's thoughts, you can see their emotions, feel them. It can be overwhelming at times, and that's why I seek solitude, and I have my fur children over real people. I don't have anybody in my life. No mom, no dad, no nothing. Never have, never will. I got my son, and his mom is here, but I let her have her own life. Life can be difficult, but the way you interact with, the way you perceive it, the way you shape it is your choice. And yeah, it sucks, it hurts, just shaping my reality for my son just so that he has everything. And I used to blame life and everybody in it because of the way I was raised and the horrible things I went through. But I think part about seeing and experiencing the worst of humanity, it helped me to be the person that I am today. I'm able to see all the beauty, all the positivity. Um, it sucks being an empath so emotionally, just all the time, and it's always a battle, always a journey. And Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays I work at Costco. And just imagine having to deal with 3,500 people and you're an empath. So powerful. You can feel their emotions and shape their emotions and their reality. I have to watch who I touch and what I say. And, you know, anything I put on paper comes true. Watch, I'll show you. So, I have on paper alpha frequency harmonizer detail. AFH, aging detail frequency bridging, standalone bridge, space portaling, frequency healing, all maladies and ills, plus brain sicknesses and lost limbs, cymatic matter generator, frequency harmonizer for food and weather, vibrational soul transference. So think of Avatar. Terraforming with vibrational energies, stable fusion core, and of course flight. I've had these all on paper forever. um, Bam. So that's it. That's for healing. And the frequency tube, you can move it up and down. So that way, if you needed to do the head, you can move it up and down. Um, Here's the details on AF, the aging. And there's my stick people for the portaling. So you would just have to think of it as frequency. So from where you're standing's frequency, you're going to shoot that out with matter, energy, frequency mixed together creates a stable environment because the electromagnetic field would keep the energies in bound while you're pushing it, and then whatever frequency you're shooting to, when you connect, would shoot back, creating the bridge, and you would have the top part, and you would have a portal, and you would just have to have an electromagnetic field around you generating that portal's frequency, so that portal thinks you're part of it. And you wouldn't have to mess with it. You can get out of the firmament the same way as what you guys call it. But um, I mean, we could do so much together. We can shape the world. We don't have to rely on anybody. We allow it. And the one thing they don't have is time. And if you master of time, reality, and everything around you, you don't have to worry about anything and anyone. Just imagine if we came together and we were able to create just a fraction of what's on that paper. Um, Flight. Okay, so think about it like this. Um, when two magnets come together, okay, it creates a void, a place where space and time doesn't exist. That's that friction that you have. There's the laws of physics don't exist in that. So you can recreate that by remembering this, that when two frequencies come together, they cancel it out. Okay, so like two positives comes together, boop, canceled. Two negatives come together, boop, canceled. But when a negative and a positive comes together, it creates um so. You would have a frequency harmonizer generator below your craft or whatever vessel. You can do like a building, an entire city. You would just have to copy the frequency below you and you would create that void and you would have anti-gravity or whatever you guys want to call it. And you could just increase frequency to raise, to lower. Um, you can do point to point. So if you know that a frequency 100,000 million bajillion quadrillion boop million miles away is this, you can interact with that. Um, I got to remember to take a breath because I'd get excited and start peeing around like a little puppy and just start talking about everything. Um, but to be able to understand that frequency dominates reality and that we're all shades of frequency, you have to realize that everything around you and everything you've been told is a lie. And then you have to realize and think, okay, well, then what is the truth? The truth is this: everything in the entire world vibrates. Everything. Everything. So that tells me that that's a law of creation. The law of creation is the law of life. Second, everything has an energy field that comes from the heart. Everything. And three, conscience permeates everything. So you could create artificial vessels that interact with conscience too, but it would sort of be a prison because of the encoding, the scripts. We just have to be careful. We have to raise our vibrations. We have to meditate. We have to watch what we say and do to people because what you do ripples in reality. If you have M's, if you have X's, crescent moons, you are a rippling factor in reality. We just have to just come together. My next one is I'm going to teach you guys about elemental vibrational magic, how to interact with it, spirits, how to push negative and positive energies outside of the house, reset into the energy grid inside of the house. I'll teach you how to do that. Um, I'll teach you how to move malign evil because there's conscience that's just become so corrupted, spirit that's become so corrupted that there's no healing it. You can move it into a crystal or into an energy prison or some type of barrier. I'll teach you how to do that. That'll involve blood magic. I'm O plus positive, so I got some really super rare blood. I had 3 blood transfusions a little while ago, so now I've got some people flow inside of me. Um, that's a form of blood magic I don't want to teach, but it's necessary if you want to become more powerful. Um, I just wish everybody the best. I know I'm a little weird. Give me time. I get used to this. Um, say bye to potato. No shot collar needed. Say bye, baby. Life can be good. It can. Just know that your vibrational state shapes your reality around you. Give me a kiss. Shake. Let me see. All right, you guys have a good one.